maybe there is a plan afoot, since there are rumbles there are in Capitol Hill. Now, I'm not talking about an insurrection instigated by Donald Trump. No. I'm not talking about a few police officers being beaten up to a pulp and then the perpetrators being given a pardon. No, I'm not talking about that at all. But there are rumbles in Capitol Hill that Donald Trump will enact martial law of this a month. But we'll get into that in a moment. You see, Donald Trump's going to need a reason to enact martial law. To turn the guns on the people. That's pretty much what it means. Now, protests. Now, we saw some fantastic protests over the weekend, and I was so inspired. So inspired to see good American people standing up for those who have been completely and utterly sideswiped by Donald Trump, whether it be LGBTQ+, whatever it's called, or, the veterans even, the disabled, DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion and all that. All those job losses just because, he considers you as weak. People stand up for him. And that was inspiring to see. Because our feelings towards the American people were, they were getting a little bit negative. From what we could see. From what we could see being pushed online. It's always the negative, isn't it? That's what sells, it's what gets the clicks, you see. We don't see the good stuff. Just like these, protests. Not one arrest. No. And very little coverage in the media. Tiny amount of coverage. And when you consider they believe there's over 5.2 million people at those protests. It's disgraceful not to cover it in full. It was down to people on the ground, alternative media, influencers and people on YouTube, to share. And also those who were there sharing their videos on Blue Sky. And if you've done it on X, get yourself off there and get onto Blue Sky. Follow us there. But you see, a man like Donald Trump, he's not a deep thinker. All this 5D chess, or whatever you like to call it, that's bollocks. There may be somebody pulling the strings. Because he's like a little puppet, you see. He's quite easy to manipulate. You've only got to fluff him, if you know what I mean. Just to get round away. Suckle his little chocolate starfish to fool them into thinking that you are actually his minion. His pleb. But they're literally potentially the ones who could be pulling the strings. Who knows? The man is such a narcissist, he just needs people to say how great he is. I don't believe there's anything deep about this man at all. Now, there will be some very sinister people behind the scenes. Whether it be a guy who owns Palantir and all that. I forgot his name now. Ludnick and various others. I don't even think it's people like Jeff Bezos or any of them lot. They just were well protecting their arse because they got online businesses. And he could cause so much grief. With legislation, you see. Freedom of speech and all that. But there isn't no freedom of speech. Another reason for martial law. The protests, people speaking out against Donald Trump. Now, Trump is apparently going to enact martial law on the 20th of April this month. It might be later, might be sooner. But apparently that's what he's going to be doing. And that will put the fear of God into people. It really will, because, Well, the military will be on the streets, the police will be replaced by the military if they don't bend a knee, and those who don't stand up to, to the people, pretty much put a gun in their face, if you know what I mean. They'll be court-martialed. What happens to them? Like the Great Replacement. Now, Donald Trump, with his tariffs as well, he expects the world to capitulate to and to bend the knee, to suckle on his old chocolate starfish, if you know what I mean, yeah. And he's happy to sit back and watch the world, well, scramble for the crumbs. You see, nobody have any money, nobody be able to spend anything, your 401ks, your pensions, and be absolutely screwed. It's not just in the United States, it's screwing the pensions worldwide. Investments are shot. Now, there was a bit of an uptick in the stocks this morning, but that was just the settling of the shock. That's all it is. They're not going to recover to what they were, not for some time. Not while these tariffs are in place. Now China is likely to be hit with a 104% tariff. There was a 20% tariff in March, another 35% tariff. It was a 34% tariff the other day. And now Donald Trump is threatening to, because China retaliated, another 50% tariff. So it'll be 104% tariff, and that's all very well, you know. Oh, it's China. China's going to be paying. Oh, no, they won't. You will. All the components in your iPhones, etc., and your cars, touch screens, you name it, all come from China. Everything is going to be a lot more expensive like for instance, an iPhone's going to cost you like $3,000. That kind of thing. 104% tariffs since March. It's over doubled the price of anything coming out of China. Doubled it. And that will get rid of the €800 limit for the small sales, small imports. That'll be Xi'an, that'll be Temu, it'll be AliExpress, all those importers that Chinese imports that you might have been benefiting from, they'll be gone. Be all doubled in price. Now, it is obviously going to hurt China. China said we will not bow to Donald Trump. They will not bend the knee. They pretty much said that. Some countries said they would. Countries that, quite frankly, worth the diddly squat, like Zimbabwe and what have you. The UK hasn't really retaliated yet, but it will do. The European Union they're not going to just lay down and take it. They said they're going to hit the tech industry. China's already blocked the exports of a variety of different rare earth minerals required for your electronic products. All the usual things, germanium and what, banned the export of those. It's just, the whole thing it's like a spiral. You're circling the plug hole. That's what's happening at the moment. And you're going to say a lot of the other countries, they're going to be flushed down the old plug hole first, and the United States will follow. We'll all be down the old plug hole, economically speaking. And Donald Trump will just watch and laugh. He is a man who believes that he is the Messiah, but he's not. He's just a naughty little boy that he is. He's just somebody who loves to watch people suffer. He's vindictive, a narcissist, living in the moment of how it makes him feel. There's nothing deep in it. Any plans that he do make are all very short term. They're going no more than 3 deep, if you know what I mean. Now, he knows that these tariffs are bad news, even though he's been saying it for decades that tariffs are the way to bring back trade to the United States. But that's not going to happen. No. You cannot improve your economy when you are relying on other people's money to boost your economy. And if you screw the other people, hence the other countries, you make their economy flatline, well, who's got the money to spend? All you'll have is an insular economy. The people within the United States are going to say, well, I ain't got the money to spend either. It is literally it's a deck of cards. And somebody's just, or Jenga, you've been pulling out the pieces from the bottom. The whole lot collapses. It's like even like a plug, I suppose. It's so precarious. It's madness. And yet, the MAGA morons are quite happy to see Trump and with his tariffs, even though the food prices are spiking. And yet they keep on sucking on his old chocolate starfish for free. Now, some bankers have said that we are looking at a nuclear winter. We're looking at a depression. And this is frightening for everybody, not just for the people in the United States who are already struggling. Now, I've got a friend here at the moment who said he's been to the United States and he's been to some of the poor areas, and he can understand how he got here, why people are so up Trump, if you know what I mean. They love Trump so much. Oh, Trump. Oh, he's crikey, making all these promises. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. What's the master plan? There's no master plan. No. But he said there was just so much poverty in those areas, a lack of education. And now Trump's going to make that even worse, not better. If they wanted to change things, if any government wanted to actually make a difference, they could. But they don't. Now, Tony Blair, for all his mistakes and ills and what have you, there's one thing he did, and he was right. He said, education, when he was coming in, doing his campaigning and what have you. And the United Kingdom invested a lot into education. They got rid of all the old mobile classrooms and the outside toilets. They built new blocks, and loads of money was invested. And as somebody who worked in construction, my company did quite well out of it. Okay, we were quids in, but I could see why they were doing it. It wasn't just that. The hospitals, there was a lot of money being spent on infrastructure. Some it's through PPI schemes, which was a mistake, but the schools themselves was actually funding from, basically taxpayer funding from from Treasury, and it improved the education. But then the Conservatives get in, everything starts going downhill again. That's the same, you guys. You don't give the Democrats enough time to actually make a difference. And then you vote Donald Trump in or some Republican in, and the same old thing happens again. It's all rinse and repeat. And if martial law is enacted, like has been rumoured in Capitol Hill, well then, quite frankly, that is the endgame. There will be no comeback from that. Not without some form of civil war, where the people stand up against, their aristocracy. You just start building yourself a Bastille and a few gallows. That's what you need to do. Keep them hidden in the garages, and covered up and all that. Nobody sees them. Or you go for a compact, hydraulic version if you like, There's loads of ways of doing that. There is. If I was there in the United States, I'd be happy to build you one, that I would. Oh dear. It is deeply concerning, isn't it? It really is. Because it does affect everybody. It's not just affecting those who are already struggling. Even the MAGA lights, their life chances are going to be, dead in the water, they will. There'll be only those who've got shitloads of money who are going to be able to ride this out. And even they are not going to be in a good place, you see. Because these rich buggers have got rich off the back of you. They're sucking you dry. While you scramble around for scraps underneath the table. Anyway, you tell me. Please leave it in the comments down below. I do like to read the comments that I do. And also educates me as well. And being I'm here in France, it's good to know... We'll get the information, I suppose, how other people are feeling about what's going on. Whether you're MAG or whether you're not, you know. But I do read the comments. No, I do. Can't always reply, no. But I do read. But please beat the like button and maybe subscribe to the channel, a little bell icon, because then you get a warm fuzzy feeling in your pocket every time. Pocket every time I upload another video. Anyway, it's time for me to go. So toodaloo, you know. So toodaloo. And if you want to support the channel, you do on Patreon and buy us a coffee. And the links are down below. Oh, blimey. Whew.